all the American people are saying to Congress is, do your jobs. Like, you're worried about re-election. Getting elected is not your job. That's what they don't understand. They think that campaigning and getting elected is your job. No, that's not your job. Also, like, no offense with the TikToks. Like, I understand that you're trying to make people think that you're a regular person. That's the problem. You don't seem like a regular person when you're trying to look like a regular person. You shouldn't be doing TikToks in the Capitol. Why? You're at work. Why are you doing that at work? You see what I'm saying? That makes the American people even more realize that you're not doing work because you're too busy doing TikToks. Do you see what I'm saying? They got it twisted because they're so disconnected. Just do your jobs. Look, I'm not going to waste anybody's time. The CCOT terrorism prison in El Salvador, it's not a prison. It's a death camp. Hi, Mama. Not eating. A federal judge is weighing contempt proceedings against the Trump administration for defying Supreme Court orders, which is a violation of the Constitution, in yet another constitutional crisis among the many so far this year. Let's talk a little bit about CCOT, which is a maximum security mega prison under the most inhumane circumstances imaginable. U.S. citizens are being wrongfully sent, including a 19-year-old who was accidentally deported. How do you get accidentally deported? Know your rights. Know your rights. If ICE shows up, this isn't just for brown folks, by the way. Make no mistake, it just starts with one group. First it's criminals, then you get labeled terrorists, next it's commies, Jews, Muslims, and it's the LGBTQ+, Chinese, Japanese, doesn't matter. It's all the same to these people. Not white and or poor. And if you're white or white adjacent, or what they call white on paper, then yeah, you too, especially if you're poor. They have to keep blaming the other because they're scared, they're weak, and they're insecure. We need to teach our young men that strength comes from protecting those who can't help themselves, not by taking advantage of them just because you can. How much more do they need? Stop being greedy. Give to the needy. We need universal health care in the United States now. We need to abolish ICE. I can't understand why we can't say free Kilmer, free Luigi, free Palestine. I don't understand what's wrong with speaking out against genocide and fascism. This is not freedom, it's fear. I can say that I condemn Hamas's actions on October 7th, and also say I condemn the disproportionate response from the Israeli government. The government of Israel, not the people, not Jewish people. Now, it's not about a faith, it's a government. It is not anti-Semitic to criticize the actions of the government of Israel. People need to stop dying. Israel has the bombs, and we, the USA, are giving it to them. As president, I would have given Israel 24 hours to come to a peace deal. Or else, we cease all arms shipments to Israel. Cut them off. Tell them that until people stop dying, we're not talking about any politics. After the people stop dying, then we can talk politics. Then we can talk about what we do with Hamas. And then we can actually have a real conversation on a true two-state solution. We are the United States of America. Nobody bullies us. That is, unless you're Israel, Russia, China, El Salvador, but only under this flaccid Trump administration. If ICE drops by, call the police. They're not law enforcement or military. If you're military or a cop, you better not let some mall cop punk you out. Throw hands. They ain't got none, I promise. That's why they're bullies. They have to bully brown people because they're weak. They're so small inside, so they have to do cruel and heinous things to others to feel big. Bigly. But ugly. On the inside, probably on the outside too. Just keeping it real. Is this what you call freedom? Where are the Republicans? While they're dismantling our once great republic. Authenticity versus whatever it is the Democrats have been selling. Trump won because he was authentically himself. An asshole. But authentically an asshole. I mean, being the asshole boss is basically his whole brand anyway. You're fired. I mean, that's the whole thing. That's what he's always built on. The Apprentice, all the mean tweets. I mean, he's playing a character that he's clearly based on Michael Cohen. The real Trump is not this bravado. It's all fake. Fake like the makeup he wears. I don't wear makeup. Well, except on Halloween and for the occasional Comic-Con. Dude is as fake as his spray tan. As fake as Fox News, as fake as his hair, his marriage, the Epstein files, Barron's paternity test, or the biggest lie, that he was ever a successful businessman. The art of the deal? The art of the steal. Confessions of a 34-time convicted felon. Moving on to something else. You got a couple more topics here to talk about. Senator Bernie Sanders and a Congressman Maxwell Frost from Florida, where we just had lost 2 special elections. They were at Coachella. Katy Perry, Bezos' arm candy, and Oprah's girlfriend went to space. Same energy. Then Bernie goes on to anoint AOC as basically his successor. Kind of like how Joe Biden anointed Kamala Harris. That was a death sentence for her campaign. She needed to prove herself in the primaries. And I think she could have won it. But I still don't think she could have had a chance against Trump. Which is why AOC won't either. She's not Bernie 2.0. She's Kamala 2.0. To the public anyway. That's what they'll see. They'll see that she didn't get these crowds out. Bernie did. And then he handed it to her. They'll say she needed a man. Is it true? Doesn't matter, that's what they'll say. And how are you going to fight it? Like they're fighting Trump now? Bernie and AOC are drawing some crowds, sure. But are they passing legislation? Are you blocking legislation? Are you fighting the oligarchy, or are they, the Democrats, expecting you, the voters, to fight, to donate? Hurry up, hurry up. Time's up. Oh, I got this text message. Oh, email. They expect you to fight For what? And then what? Trump accidentally deported an American citizen, but they have no mechanism to bring him back. Trump violates Supreme Court orders, fires people who disagree with him. They suspend due process and just deport U.S. citizens. What's next? Firing squads? How about parades for the Fuhrer? Oh, wait. He is planning a multi-million-dollar taxpayer-paid military parade for his birthday. That's not weird at all. A whole military parade for a draft dodger and a 34-time convicted felon. How much has this man already gotten away with? Because of how weak and feckless all of these politicians are. A plague on both your houses. They don't have what it takes. They don't have what it takes to beat Trump. If they did, they would have done it already. But I'm everything Trump isn't. I'm what MAGA deludes themselves into thinking he is. A good father, a good husband in a real marriage, a good provider of resources, of empathy, of wisdom, of love. I'm an actual successful businessman, providing leadership, guidance, purpose, direction, motivation, inspiration, faith, and hope. Besides, I own a dog. You see, much like 2016, both sides, Republican and Democrat, will have full landscapes. 16 plus people on each side, all trying to beat all 16 on their side, and then the other guy on the other side. But here's the thing. The fight has always been the same. One very clear adversary. Trump. Just Trump. He will run. And if AOC is the nominee, he will win. History will repeat itself. The game is being rigged as we speak. I mean, Trump will probably try to deport her anyway. And I know that Puerto Ricans are U.S. citizens. I'm Puerto Rican. And that she was also born in New York. You think Trump cares? Nope. No one currently in office can beat him. The revolution is by the people, for the people. Victory can only come from outside the house. I mean, that's how you know that they aren't fighting the oligarchy. They are just advertising for their campaign. They're basically teeing it up for their fight in 2028. They're preparing for a fight, gearing up for a showdown in 2028. They're setting themselves up for the next big fight because they know they can't beat Trump. So they're just prepping, moving on, for a fight against whoever wins the Republican primaries because the Constitution and the Supreme Court won't let Trump run for a third term, right? They know they can't beat him. But I can. I know it. Because I have one very clear objective. It's just him. And for me, it's personal. I'm relentless. I'm passionate. I'm tenacious. And I'm unwavering. I stand on business. I have my integrity. I won't sacrifice that for nobody. Not to mention that I'm fighting back right now. I don't need an elected office to do that. I help people in need with my own personal resources. donating, volunteering my own time in my community and others. I give back even when I have nothing to give. That's what a soldier does, a husband, a father. That's what a leader does. I lead from the front. And you can look at any one of my video, like all of my, any video content of mine on any platform. Not once have you heard me beg for money or ask for any donations or plug any websites or anything. I have not gotten on here and told anybody to donate to anything. For the most part, this campaign is almost entirely self-funded. First, bring Kilmar back home. And also, like, the White House press secretary referred to Garcia as a terrorist. He's not. That's the term that they use as a catch-all. Terrorist. You know what they're saying. The president of the North American Building Trades Unions, Sean McGarvey, was given a standing ovation for demanding the return of smart apprentice Kilmar Abrego Garcia. ICE is sending out letters to immigration lawyers who are citizens and illegally directing them to self-deport with no due process, no just cause. They said, quote, "We are terminating your parole." What does that even mean? These losers are out there breaking the law and making good people in uniform look bad. These guys they're not trained for any of this. They're just bullies. They have no decency. And these so-called Christian nationalists, there's nothing biblical about mistreating the poor, stealing, adultery, murder. Certainly nothing American about it either. Oppression is the language of the fearful. Protest is the language of the unheard. Indifference is apparently the language of the liberal, or at least the liberal voter. Hey, dogs. Shh, shh, tight. Okay. Evie, now you too, bro.